Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. In September 2024, my constituents, and indeed the country, will have shocked by the senseless killing of Braunstone Town resident Bhim Kohli. Mr Kohli, a well-respected and decent man, accompanied by his dog Rocky, was just walking through Franklin Park in my constituency, as he usually did, when he was targeted and assaulted to death by a 14-year-old boy and egged on by a 12-year-old girl. Since this horrific event, I've been working with Mr Kohli's daughter Susan, and I pay tribute to the Kohli family for the dignified manner in which they have had to deal with this emotional and tragic aftermath of such a horrific incident. Susan is not looking for retribution. She's simply looking to promote justice for families of the victims, who at the moment do not feel as if the justice system works for them. And I would like to pay tribute to Susan, who I know is sat at home watching today's debate alongside Rocky. Madam Deputy Speaker, I have tabled new Clause 1 and new Clause 14 in memory of Mr Kohli, and I would like honourable members across the House to support these amendments today, to place greater responsibility on child offenders and the parents of child offenders. New Clause 1 would require the Secretary of State undertake an assessment of the effectiveness and use of parental orders throughout the justice system. Parental orders, for honourable members that do not know, are measures that require parents of child offenders to either pay for their children's crimes or force them to attend parenting classes. Yet despite these powers being on the statute book, they are rarely being used. In fact, the Ministry of Justice confirmed that they have decreased from over 1,000 in 2010 to just 27 in recent years. This is woefully inadequate. These measures are not designed to punish, but to support, to help families restore discipline and stability, to prevent the next crime before it even happens. Susan put it to me, if parents of the two individuals in this case were placed under parental orders, then they would perhaps appreciate the damage and impact that their negligent behaviour has caused. And to think that one of the parents recently asked for their child's tag to be removed so they could go on a family holiday really is shameful. Madam Deputy Speaker, furthermore, I support new Clause 14 to the bill, which will bring an end to anonymity protections for young offenders who commit the most heinous and serious crimes. I believe in deterrence, and I believe that when an individual commits acts so vile, so abhorrent, that the full weight of justice must be felt, including being named publicly. The boy, 15 years old by the time of the trial, should not be shielded. Our judicial system should not protect those who have shown such disregard for human life. They should be named. Just as Axel Rukabana was following a court order, and as Muhammad Umar Khan was last week. New Clause 14 is simple. If an individual under the age of 18 commits a serious crime, they will be named. No ifs, no buts. Because in my eyes, if you are old enough to commit such an appalling crime, then you are old enough to face the full consequences of your actions.
Will the honourable member give way?
I'll give way.
I thank the honourable member for giving way, and he's making an excellent and passionate speech. And does he agree with me that the government should really consider looking at supporting the clause that he's talking about reducing the anonymity of people who commit these serious crimes, because they are looking at reducing the voting age to 16. And we should talk about when people are an adult in this country, and they should not be protected if they do these really serious crimes.
I thank my honourable friend for his intervention, and I couldn't agree more. I think government policy, particularly he mentions about the rumours that the government is planning to lower the voting age of responsibilities. It does seem a bit contradictory that we would have these two ages of responsibility. Turning to new Clause 18, in the name of my honourable friend, the member for Bexhill and Battle, the girl that was with the 14-year-old boy that egged him on did not receive a custodial sentence. A shocking fact that even though she was egging on a peer to commit an assault, quite literally to kill a man, she did not receive a custodial sentence. Sentencing guidelines make it nearly impossible for individuals of that age to receive a custodial sentence. But what can we do in this House about that? Well, the answer is very little, because we have an unelected and unaccountable quango determining sentencing guidelines rather than democratically elected members in this place. This is wrong, and this must change. We must abolish the Sentencing Council and restore democratic accountability within our judicial system to promote equality before the law and to ensure that serious crimes are treated with the tough punishment they deserve, Irrespective of a defendant's sob story, crime is crime. And that's why I'm also a supporter of new clauses 17 and 19, which will ensure tough sentences for those who commit sexual abuse or murder. But finally, Madam Deputy Speaker, I would also like to highlight my support for new clause 21, tabled by my honourable friend, the member for Huntingdon. This new clause delivers a powerful message that if you take a life through dangerous or reckless driving, then you should forfeit the privilege of driving. This amendment prioritises public safety and provides justice for families who have lost loved ones, like my constituent Emma Johnson, who lost her parents through the actions of a careless driver. Madam Deputy Speaker, I sincerely hope that the Government does support the amendments today. We in this place must ensure that justice is done and seen to be done.